professional voice-over artist and award-winning producer with an utmost passion for all things voice and technology. She ups the vocal coaching game by helping voice artists boost their VO career using target marketed demos and customized marketing strategies. She loves highlighting new trends in the industry and providing fresh new takes on what is happening in the VO through her podcast, VO Boss. Her voiceover credits include United Healthcare, Delta, Pearson, Mercedes-Benz, PayPal, Wells Fargo, Michelin, Credit Suisse, Cisco, Toyota, Panasonic, Vassar, Xerox, and more. Let's get it done. 4. And Gamsa.
Hey everyone, hope you're having a great VoicesCon 2022. My name's Ann Ganguza and I am a full-time voice actor, coach, and producer of the VO Boss podcast. Today I want to talk to you about how you can thrive and be successful in today's voiceover industry. It's not a surprise that over the years, technology has certainly evolved and disrupted this voiceover industry. So it's imperative that we educate ourselves on technology and realize how we can evolve along with the technology in order to have successful voiceover businesses. When I first started, online casting sites had just begun, and thinking about a website was really just a thought. Now it's a necessity to actually be online and to have a presence online in order to be successful in your voiceover career. So there are a few important topics that I want to share with you, and these are part of my Teachable Moments series on YouTube that I produce weekly. Each week is a new topic based on business or performance best practices. So I invite you to check it out at the link below. You can also get a lot of information from my VO Boss podcast at voboss.com. So we're going to talk about 4 things that will help you to be successful. Number 1 is going to be how you can invest your money wisely in your voiceover business. 2 is going to be best voiceover practices to improve your performance. Then we're going to talk about how to be human and how important it is to be an actor in your voiceover performance. And finally, we'll have a real discussion about synthetic voices in the industry. The first place to spend your money when investing in your voiceover business is in your education. Because the more informed you are, the better decisions you can make, and the better investment decisions you can make down the road. So invest in finding out about the voiceover industry. Make sure that you're taking some time to find trusted sources in the industry. So you can start off Googling, but if you need to make an investment here and there to talk to some knowledgeable people that are tops in the industry, I think that's a very wise investment to start with. The next thing I want you to do is to invest in coaching, in performance coaching. And also, you can talk about business coaching as well, but I would start with performance coaching with a coach that you've researched, that you trust, to help guide you in the beginning of your pathway in your journey into voiceover, because that is almost a lifelong journey in terms of investing in your own education for your performance, for your acting. Once you got yourself a good coach and you are in the process of learning performance for voiceover, you're going to have to make an investment in your equipment so that you can get ready to create a home studio, because you won't be able to get work unless you can produce quality audio. You also need to learn how to edit that audio. The next step in your investment will be your equipment, but it doesn't have to be, doesn't have to be $1,000 mic. Most people can start off in this industry with, a few $100 investment in their mic. Probably the bigger investment might be in possibly your room that you're going to be recording in, because you may have to add acoustic treatment to that room so that you can get a great sound. If you're not knowledgeable about that, and you can certainly, check on the internet, there's lots of information on the internet on how you can create a home studio on the cheap. You also might want to consider investing into a great engineer that can help really set up your home studio or remote troubleshoot your home studio to make it sound better and better. I always think that's a wise investment. Once you've started coaching, you've got yourself a few $100 investment in your equipment so that you can now start to create auditions, and then also work on your acoustic space, your environment, and then invest in a great sound engineer that can help you to really finesse that and get that home studio up to snuff. So the next thing you're going to want to invest in is your marketing, your business.
Si Jen?
So for that, you want to make sure that you have a website. So you're going to probably want to purchase that domain name. I always recommend
Uy,
purchase
Kat.
your name
What's up?
first, and then any additional names that you might want for your website. But I always like AnnGanguza.com. I mean, there's nothing better than that. Even if it's more difficult to spell, I do like your personal brand as a first step for your website. That can be your core website to drive traffic to, so that you can advertise that you are a voice talent. The next thing you want to do is to consider an investment towards your demos. Your demos are your marketing piece. That is what is going to get you the gig, or at least get your foot in the door. Make sure that you are working
Thanks,
with a
Kat.
coach that you trust, and you can ask their advice if you're ready to do that demo. And please don't do a demo before you're ready. I think there are too many people that rush in to do their demos too soon,
What's up?
and it really ends up being a poor investment. So if you're going to invest in a demo, make sure that you're ready to make that demo. In order to make money, you have to spend money. So invest wisely. And I promise you, if you invest wisely and you're educated and make informed decisions, that investment is going to come back and get you a great return on investment. So it's been said by Malcolm Gladwell that it takes 10,000 hours to be successful in an endeavor. So for voiceover, that's no different. It's very important for us as voice actors to improve our skill set and to practice daily. I think it will help you to audition better, do your jobs better, and it will get you into a routine that will continually progress your business forward. So the first thing I want you to do is to set a goal. Figure out what it is that you want to practice and set
Pwede sa
aside a
buntis.
specific amount of time each day to do
I
that.
don't know what you're
It could
talking
be
about.
for vocal warm-ups. It could be for improving your cold reading skills, improving your auditioning skills, improving your acting skills. So figure out what it is that you want to practice every day and set aside
Honey Chen,
a certain amount of
what's
time
up?
to do just that. Now, if you want to practice your cold reading
Thank you
skills,
for the likes,
go
guys.
ahead and get some scripts. There are
Nasa
lots of
webinar
free
pa ako
scripts
for
out
voiceover
there. I
talent.
know Edge Studio has a bunch of free scripts, or even if you just want to go to a website or take a book and just start reading aloud. You can do that for a certain amount of time each day, and it will improve your cold reading skills. Also, if you have a bunch of scripts and you read it out
What's
loud
a producer
quickly,
finder?
that will also help to improve your cold reading skills.
Ngayon
It's
lang,
something that
gantong
I have my
oras. Kasi may
students
hinihintay
do
ako.
before they actually
Hinihintay ko si
script or
Justin.
record a script, because it really does a lot for helping you to become familiar with the script and understand the story. And if you know the story, you can tell the story, which is what we are. We're storytellers. If you want to practice acting, think about practicing and taking time to figure out what is the moment before. What is the moment before that script starts? And why is it that you're saying what you're saying at the beginning of that script? That will help to place you into the scene. And when you're
Yeah, I don't know what that
into
is.
the scene and you're responding to
Is that like
the events
internet
that are
research?
unfolding on the screen, that's going to make your read a whole lot more believable.
Is
You
that
can also
full-time?
practice ABC reads. Now, ABC reads would be 3 different reads of the same line. A lot of times when you're live directed, they will ask you for an ABC read. Now, a lot of times people will do ABC reads, they'll just change their pitch. So it'll be, this is read 1, this is read 2, this is read 3. I want you to take those ABC reads and I want you to think about not a different pitch, but think about a different scene or something happening, unfolding where you are reacting with a different emotion. And if you can do that, that's going to give you 3 completely different reads. It's going to help you in a lot of ways. It's going to help you become quicker on your feet when a director asks you for an ABC read. It will also help you to give a great take 2 on your audition. For auditioning skills, I want you to limit yourself to 3 takes only. See if you can get that final take that you're going
I've never
to
done
submit to
that,
the audition.
but I know
3
people
takes
who've
only.
done
There are
that.
so many of my students I
So,
know when they
ano
just
yung
begin,
rachada yun?
they second
So,
guess
paramihan
themselves
ng
over and over and over
hanap
again,
ng
and they do
products and
maybe
stuff like
15
that.
takes,
So,
20 takes, and they
kailangan
keep going
mabilis
back
ka.
and redoing it. I want you to try
But
to
I've
limit
never done
yourself
it
to
myself.
3, edit it and submit it and forget it. And if you do that enough times, you're going to get well versed in number 1, trying to assess what the story is quicker. You're going to be able to record and also edit quicker, and also it will allow you to do a whole lot more
Mabilisan yung mga ganyan.
Workout groups
And
should
I have no idea if
ideally have a coach
$2
in
is
that
good.
workout group
For
that
me,
can help
dapat
direct your read so
dapat
that it
minimum
can
is
be improved.
$3.
Or some voice
I
talent
would
that
say.
has had experience in the field for a number of years, rather than joining a group of people that are all new to the industry, because you may not be able to provide the best feedback to one another because you don't have the experience in it. So workout groups are also amazing, and you can listen as much as you participate because you can learn a lot by someone being directed. As a matter of fact, it's one of the reasons why I created the VO Keeps group, was so that we could have community workouts. And you could
Yeah, no problem.
work out with each other and learn from each other. I teach a lot of different genres of voiceover. Commercial, all types of narration, medical narration, corporate training, e-learning, explainers, and all of them require acting. You might be surprised because I have a lot of my narration students that feel that narration is more of an information delivery. But I beg to differ because we are voice actors and called voice actors for a reason. So no matter what it is that we are voicing, we need to be storytellers. We need to be able to put ourselves into the scene where we are actually communicating the words on the script to the listener. So therefore, we are telling a
Maulan
story.
din sa inyo.
And whether that story happens to be about a corporate policy or a lesson that you're trying to teach a student about science, or a commercial where you're trying to sell them a new cake mix. All of that has a story, and it has a character, you and, of course, the people that you are talking to. So you need to put yourself into the scene and imagine yourself telling that story to the audience. And I usually like to say it's one person in that audience, because when you make it about them, right, then it becomes personal, and it becomes more intimate, and it becomes something that the listener wants to listen to because you're directing it at them. If you are simply narrating or reciting words on the page and delivering information, the person in the back can kind of go, oh, she's not really talking to me, so let me go ahead and do something else. Let me go get something in the refrigerator. Let me text my friends. And so what happens there is you really have a disconnect with your listeners. So when you are voicing anything, any script, put yourself in the scene. You are the character speaking to another character and telling that story, whatever those words are on the page. And you're responsible for making those words come alive on the page, no matter how well written or not well written they are. And that's when the challenge comes in. And I think that, for me, becomes an additional boost to my character, because the harder it is to tell that story, the more determined I am to actually really dig deep and find the character, find the scene, put myself in that scene, and then be able to be in the scene to talk to you and to really relay that message in a meaningful way and not just in an information delivery way. So yeah, we are voice actors, and for every genre, you must act. So for a while now, there's been a lot of talk, a lot of discussion in the forums about AI and this technology that is coming to take our jobs away, or the perception that AI will take our jobs away. First of all, we have to really sit back and think that we're not going to actually stop the technology from evolving. I mean, technology has been evolving for years, and AI technology is no different than any other technology, and it will continue to evolve. Synthetic voices will continue to improve, and for our businesses, we need to really kind of sit back and take a hard look at what's happening in the AI industry and in synthetic voices to figure out how we can evolve along with it. I do believe that there is a way that we can actually utilize synthetic voices, if we choose to expand our business offerings, to expand our product. Our product is our voice. If we have our human voice, why not consider what might happen if we allow people to use a synthetic version of our voice? I think if you hear that and you start getting nervous, what we really need to think about is, well, we need to protect ourselves. We be transparent. There's been a couple of, instances where people have taken advantage of using our voices without our knowledge. The TikTok case is one such case. It's actually a good thing. It was a bad thing that happened, but it's a good thing because it helped to set a precedent. And it helped to, I think, point out to everyone involved in the industries that, yeah, we need to have some protection for our voices. And how are we going to do that? How are we going to put that in place? There's a wonderful organization by the name of the Open Voice Network. I'm a part of that. We're doing studies on synthetic voice and how we can protect our voice and protect our, license our voice and protect the ownership of where does our voice get used and how does it get used and how do we get compensated fairly for that. And I think we're making a lot of great headway. For those of you that are nervous about this, I think this is the best time to actually get involved in the industry because you can have a voice, you can have a say in, look, this is what I need. This is something, if my voice is being used here, if my voice is being used in this way, if somebody is generating text and I don't have control over that text, well, I should be able to say there are words that you cannot say. There are, companies that maybe I don't want to represent. We need to have those considerations put in place so that we can protect ourselves. And I think if that is something that we work together to really develop and get ahead of, I think it's going to actually help us in our voiceover businesses for years to come because we will have evolved along with it and made a place for it alongside us in our businesses. So I like to believe in the good of technology. I know that it's coming, and if somebody's going to use a synthetic voice, well, then maybe they should use my synthetic voice and not somebody else's because I still want to be licensed, I want to be treated fairly, and I want to be compensated fairly for that. And I'm going to make sure that that is what's going to happen because as entrepreneurs, we are the ones that have the ownership of our own businesses. So you guys can't have a voice, let's use it. In my endeavor to really try to figure out how we can safely and effectively utilize this technology and maybe create a synthetic voice and have it be used as part of our businesses, I have been doing my VO Boss podcast for, over 30 episodes, educating users about AI and voice, interviewing different companies. So I'd love for you guys to check out my VO Boss podcast, AI and voice series. If you need to educate yourself on the industry, I highly recommend that, knowledge is power and we can move forward if we are educated. So make sure you check out voboss.com if you want to learn more about AI and voice. Listen to the AI and voice series. What we've just spoken about is just the tip of the iceberg in resources that can help you to jumpstart your career in voiceover. You can find out resources on my YouTube channel as well as on my VOBoss podcast at voboss.com, at my blog at annegangbuza.com. You can also reach out to me directly at ann@annegangbuza.com. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I wish you all the best of luck on your VO journey.
Wow, gaming industry insights is always a pleasure to have. Many thanks for sharing your expertise, Anne. And of course, on behalf of the VoicesCon team and participants, we would like to present the certificate granted today, October 25, 2022, in grateful acknowledgement of your contribution in the success of VoicesCon 2022.
Alright, are you guys still there? I hope you are. We're nearing at the end of today's event, but not without hearing from someone in the local scene. Our last, but definitely not the least speaker for VoicesCon 2022 has 10 years of experience in the Philippine FM radio industry, having worked as a radio presenter and host and holding leadership positions in popular radio stations like Monster Radio RX 93.1 as Tommy Tambay, 90.7 Love Radio Manila, and 96.3 Israel Manila as Andre Jordan. He has been training in the field of radio production, voiceovers, and voice acting since 2000 by joining online commercial voicing seminars, in-person classes in Manila, Amsterdam, and in Los Angeles, where he attended the two-day seminar by Dano Day, Nancy Wolfson, and Richard Horvitz. Right now, he is currently the production manager of TAG 91.1, the only Filipino radio station in the UAE where he writes, produces, and supervises the production of Tagalog radio commercials as well as mentor his own roster of voice-over artists. Join me in welcoming Hayden Brian Martino.
With the rapid development of technology for the voiceover industry, like trying to get into it, staying and thriving in it, or even just surviving in it, it's become very easily accessible to practically everybody at any level. Simultaneously, though, it is equally discouraging, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Hi, my name is Heidi Brian Hartendorf. I am the production manager for TAG 91.1, the only Filipino radio station here in the UAE. And about myself, I've been scripting, voicing, coaching, editing audio, programming the radio since 2002. Doesn't say anything of my age whatsoever. I've been doing that professionally since then, and I've been doing it from the Philippines and now here in Dubai. Now, the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'll try my best to enlighten you and have you retain the most important lessons for your future. I don't want to go beyond the 15 minutes because if I go beyond that, you might not retain anything that I say. Alright? So I'll try to keep it snappy, fast, and straight to the point. Alrighty? Okay, let's begin. Number one is time. When I say time, I don't mean that you are running out of time with your age. No, 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 no. As a matter of fact, getting into the voiceover industry has no age limit whatsoever. You could have entered it the moment you started muttering your first words as a baby. And to some people whom I've gotten to know over my years in this industry, I've known some to enter in like their 40s to mid 50s, and who are still able to get their voiceover career started at that age. Can you imagine that? Which begs the question, how did they get started, right? Which brings me to number two, training. Training for commercials, promos, dubbing, animation, video games, e-learning, voice assistant, IVRs, or interactive voice responses, acting, audiobook narration, and whatever. So it's basically number two, training. When I say training, I don't mean like your over the weekend training seminars where they hand you a certificate of completion for attendance and ta-da! You're now a legit voiceover or voice actor. You'll need tons of practice and you'll probably be investing in a hell of a lot of time. And I'm talking about possibly a minimum of 6 months if you're constantly training every single day. Again, that's looking at a minimum 6 months. Then again, that's not really enough time to get you started, to get you really versed into voice acting. Why do I say that? Because you will encounter some clients, casting directors, or even peers, voiceovers or voice actors, who know a thing or two about professional voice acting. And they will hear the experience in your performance or lack thereof. So the more years of experience you have, the better chances you have of surviving that jump. Which brings me to being prepared for the next number. Number three, having a demo. Before I continue, I need to clarify what do I mean by this. Each country or continental area has a different definition of a demo. In the Philippines, when you say it's a demo, it's basically any recorded sample arranged in no particular order whatsoever or even genre that showcases how you sound like as a voiceover or a voice actor. Coming from personal experience, whenever I receive a demo from someone from the Philippines, I already know what to expect. I'm going to be expecting like a lot of them, a lot of different files of different ranges, and it's up to me to decide about that person or not. But of course, that's just me. There are other producers out there who will take it differently. Okay? In the UK and in the US, there are demo samples, and these are basically single tracks of whatever's being showcased. And there are also demo reels, which are either arranged by genre, so that's going to be commercials, set of ears that has been trained in years of doing audio production, and of course experience in commercial production or whatever genre there is. The next question is, well, what's so important about having your own demo? Well, your demo will serve as your calling card, your signature, your masterpiece on display for your upcoming clients. Now that you have a demo, we head to number 4, finding your clients. Of course, when you're searching for something, anything in the world, guaranteed Google will be your best friend. Okay, but ultimately, landing your clients will all depend on the kind of demos you already have. Like I said, these will be your audio calling cards. When you do find your clients, so let's say you found a client that is pushing forth commercial or promos, then you need a commercial or promo demo. If it's a corporate or e-learning client, then obviously you need a corporate or serious demo. If it's a client who handles animation or video games, well, an animated demo is in order, and so on. Give the appropriate demo for the kind of client you're trying to get. Don't give a commercial demo to an audiobook client or a corporate demo to a casting agency who handles video games. They won't know what to do with that. You'll be miscast for sure. Again, it's all about having tailor-fit demos to a specific kind of client. From personal experience, it took me roughly a week to get all sorts of demos done. My demos, okay? And I'm not even done with my audiobook narration demo. Anyways, another story, another time. Getting back to searching, you'll have tons of finds. So don't worry, because like I said, Google will be your best friend who will show you millions of search results for what you're looking for. But just in case you've exhausted all your efforts looking for clients, then you'll need to dive into number 5, the fun stuff. Dipping your toes on different social media platforms. Obviously, you'll be trying your luck here with your search, and I like to give a brief scope of what to expect per platform. If you're searching for clients on Facebook, here you'll find a barrage of almost every kind of client you can find. Well, just refine your search and do your due research with the use of Google to make things easier for you, okay? Just be careful of scams, because there are a lot of scams on Facebook. I almost became a victim myself, thrice now. Again, another story, another time. Now, if you search on Twitter, now that's going to be a playground for a majority of animation and video game clients. If you want to see the landscape of that, well, you can try looking up, take note, okay? You can try looking up VA casting call for starters. And from there, you can branch out and see how that video game animation looks like. You're seeing a lot of clients from Singapore, Hong Kong, China, Japan, the US, Dallas, wherever. You'll see lots of them. You'll see a lot of big enterprises in there, mobile game developers, indie game devs, and just don't be too disheartened if you'll find a lot of non-paid projects. But it'll help you get more practice if it is what you want to get in, what you want to get your voice into. Now, on LinkedIn, you'll find a lot of showcasing happening here from both clients and voiceover talents. You will rarely see casting calls over here,
Hey,
but
Therese.
it's more of
You're
a
starting work now?
networking site, you know? It'll help you reach out to your corporations, and from there,
You're starting
when you
work
reach out,
now?
of course,
It's really early.
that is with a specific demo. Again, if it's
Still in a
corporation
webinar
or an e-learning client, that's the
for
kind of
voiceover
demos.
talent.
Outside of Google searches, you can also find clients on some free-to-plays or F2Ps or pay-to-plays, which is P2Ps. What's an F2P? What's a P2P? Okay, an F2P or a free-to-play, they are voice casting sites that you can sign up for free and you can put your portfolio on there for clients to find you, like Fiverr, Upwork, and Bunny Studio. P2Ps or pay-to-plays, however, are paid voice casting sites that still allow you to sign up for free, put up your portfolio for free, but you can only get jobs if the client sees you in particular, which is kind of hard, especially with all that talent out there who are really good at marketing themselves. So let's say you've done all your searches, all your homework. I know there's nothing more to be discussed here, but there's a more important requirement for you to survive and thrive as a VO or a 6, a stable support system. The voiceover industry is a mental game from the get-go. Just so you know, it's a roller coaster ride of ups and steep, steep dips. So there will be times that you're going to be extremely happy, and a lot of times you're going to be filled with disappointment, and you'll be like, oh, F it, forget it. In the course of my VO journey, I've gotten to know some talents who have gone into slight depression, and I've lost confidence with the constant rejections because, you get a lot of it, as well as hurtful words from clients, peers, and of course, those trolls. Plus the existence of disrespectful offers you're going to be coming across, which you might end up swallowing because, money's money. So you might need the money, so just swallow your pride and take that to the ball. Again, it's a mentally tiring game that you're going to be embarking on. So you'll need these kinds of people. One, someone you consider as an equal. Someone you can discuss things on the level without fear of being yourself or being judged. Two, someone you can teach or guide. It could be someone who looks up to you for coaching, inspiration, or is just looking for a friend who's going to be listening to them with this kind of career. And three, someone you yourself look up to. Of course, you will always want to continuously learn and improve your game. So attending coaching lessons or training sessions, regardless of your current skill level, is important. All of these kinds of people you can find on Facebook groups, but I found more success finding my people who resonated with me on TikTok. Because if you want to open more doors and get discovered, TikTok is the place. These people who will be with you on your VO journey can also be a source for referrals to more clients who didn't show up on your radar in your initial search. So not only did you gain friends, but you also created a support system who helps you in finding work as well. Aside from the support system of these people, you will also need a backup plan as there will be droughts with landing work. The first one outside of people is you'll need another source of income just in case it doesn't really work out too often with voicing. And two, you'll need either a partner who has a stable income or if you have a family business that can support the family financially. That's just in case things don't work out. Alright, so that was a lot to take in under, 10 to 15 minutes. So if ever you need clarity in certain areas I covered or you just want to reach out, you can find me on Facebook, Heidi Brian Hartdorf, Twitter, at DJ Heidi666, LinkedIn, also Heidi Brian Hartdorf, or you can find me more active, I post every day, on TikTok, The Voice of G. Easy to spell, right? Now to wrap things up, I just want to say, back in the day, to be considered a good voice talent, you had to have the voice or you had to have a vast range in your arsenal right here. But times have changed. Today, it's not about the skill level you are in right now, but where clients can see you and find you. If you're everywhere on all of the searches, then you're bound to land a voicing job for sure. So I say good luck and just keep on being a better voiceover artist or voice actor.
It's always such a pleasure to hear Filipino successes in other parts of the globe. Thank you, Heidi, for sharing your
Haba ng
expertise with us
webinar
and
na
for
to.
continuously doing what you do all
Haba
the way over
talaga.
there in the UAE. On behalf of the Voices Con team and
So
participants, we
many.
would like to present this certificate granted today, October 25, 2022, in grateful acknowledgement of your contribution in the success of Voices Con 2022. Wow, we have actually reached this point.
I know, right? And I can't believe it.
What point?
This afternoon went by so fast. But again,
Michael
Brian,
nakatangay.
that's what they say. Time flies fast when you're having fun.
Familiar ka.
I definitely agree. And we got to learn so many great things today. Before we officially close Voices Con 2022, we have a few more key individuals who will be sharing some more about the voice-over industry.
That's right. It's actually not Voices Con at all without them. Join me in welcoming our first speaker for the closing remarks. None other than the one and only founder and CEO voices all over the world. Stephanie Ticciarelli, founder and CEO of Voices.com. Hi everybody, Stephanie Cicerelli from Voices here. Thank you for joining me at VoicesCon. And thank you to Pachola Gonzalez for the invitation to present and to all the wonderful team members who helped make today possible. So during this presentation, we're going to explore some really exciting topics, including how to stand out from voice talent and AI voice. I know you're all really interested in that. So by the end of our time
not fixed. It honestly doesn't matter how talented you are or how many auditions you send in. You need to have broadcast-ready audio, or whatever the quality of audio is, for the purpose the recording is being used. So wow, that is a lot of information, and I hope you've been taking some notes, or you can go back and note anything down you might need to make note of. So now that we know more about how we as human voice actors can become more high-level, it's time to look at what those robot voices are doing, and whether or not we should be concerned. So the robots are not coming to take your jobs, at least not in the ways that you think they are. After all, artificial voices can only do what they've been programmed to do, and they still need the help of real people to give them a sense of humanness, vibrancy, and direction. Now, they will never be human. Let me just put that out there. They will not be human, but they can sound, at least, like voices that you would like to hear, and may even come to trust. All right, so something to remember is that nothing can replace a human voice. AI voice is definitely here. There's no disputing that. There's no disputing that. However, technology is still a work in progress, and it gets better by the day, but I think we can all agree. The technology at present has certain limitations in ways that it is better used than in other ways. The way you're likely to hear AI voices are in short, little tiny bursts of information that, frankly, are used to update fairly regularly, for, let's say you're in an airport, and there's an announcement, you're like, oh, the gate has changed. Well, that's not something you want to have to be on call to do, or it could be, I don't know, the stock market, some ticker thing. Like, there's any number of reasons for why a human voice, the voice talent, should not be in the studio every few minutes to make something new in order to update a system. Because it's not something that is sustainable. So this is where the voices are being used in little informational bursts that come in timely fashion that it doesn't make sense for a human to go into studio to do. Now, a lot of people do benefit from AI voices, and text-to-speech is perhaps one of them. So these voices, as you may know, are also used for many wonderful things, from helping the blind to see, and giving those who have lost their voice a new way of being heard. While it may seem a bit scary to think that there are AI voices out there doing jobs that professional voice talent were hired to do, you have to remember that AI voices are not being hired to touch your heart, to give you hope, or to gain your trust in the same way that the storyteller can, or a communicator aspires to do. And there are so many perspectives
Hey,
on
honey,
AI voices.
what's up?
People I've been speaking with across the industry, many different roles, from
Just
people
catching the end of
AI
it.
voices to those who are actually creating the technology for AI voice. What I have kind of come to understand from talking to so many people, and through all these conversations on Blogspot, what I've understood from these conversations is that there is more reason to embrace AI than to fear. So there's more reason to embrace AI voice, the opportunities that it can bring you, than to say, I'm not touching that, or I'm afraid of this, and I don't want to be part of it. That's
So,
I'm looking forward to hearing from you if you have anything you'd like to say. But for now, I'm Stephanie Cicerelli from Voices, and I really hope that you are having a great day and that you get the absolute most out of this time together.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. We're absolutely grateful for your and Voices Com's unwavering support to VoicesCon.
Of course, this event is not possible at all if it wasn't for the vision of another iconic man in the local voice acting scene.
Let's acknowledge the visionary who, through his purpose and passion, brought us all together here today to witness a momentous event for all types of voice artists, aspiring, amateur, and professionals alike.
He is the founder of Creative Voices Productions, Voice of the Youth Network, the Microphone Club Philippine Association, the Microphone Club Philippine Association of Public Speakers.
He is also an internationally well-known Filipino influential speaker, the man behind A Thousand Voices, and of course the creator of the Certified Voice Artist Program, the pioneer fully online voice acting workshop in the Philippines. He is none other than the voice master himself, Sir Pocholo de Leon Gonzalez, who shares his voice with us. That's why we stand proud today as just some of his thousand voices.
World-renowned Filipino voice director, voice coach, and influential speaker. Award-winning youth advocate, author, and entrepreneur. The man behind a thousand voices. Pocholo the Voice Master Gonzalez started his professional voice acting career at age 16 after winning a voice acting competition in ABS-CBN and eventually became the voice of thousands of commercials, dubbed films, anime, and telenovela, original animation, video games, and audiobooks. In 2005, he founded the first voice acting school in the country, the Voice Acting Academy Philippines, which paved the way for thousands of voice artists, hosts, broadcasters, and motivational speakers to thrive in their field. He is the CEO of Creative Voices Productions, Creative Sound Studios, Dubbing Booth Company,
Me?
Voice Talent Store, Speech Com Center, Creative Visions Productions,
What are you looking for?
and Creative Virtual Media. The founder of Voice of the Youth Network, Voice Care Philippines, the Microphone Club, VG8 Radio, Antrim Radio, Philippine Association of Professional Speakers, and Tagadab TV. He received the Best Book on Professions Award in the 2017 National Book Awards for Gusto Ko Maging Voice Talent and wrote the chapter on dubbing in the book The Art of Voice Acting, written by James Alberger in 2019. And in 2020, when the whole world stopped, he forged on. Amidst the crisis that locked everyone inside their homes, Pocholo continued to give opportunities to aspiring voice artists. He launched the Voice from Home program and offered free online workshops on voice acting and home studio recording. In June 2020, Pocholo founded the Certified Voice Artist Program, the first and only certification program for voice acting in the Philippines. Today, CVAP has certified thousands of voice artists, responding to the ever-growing need for voiceovers, dubbing, and localization all over the world. He believes that every voice artist should be heard, and that someone out there needs to hear their voice. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back and relax from the comfort of your home. Prepare to be amazed, to be inspired, and to be transformed by the voice master himself, Mr. Pocholo de Leon Gonzalez.
Poco Bobby.
This is DJ Joy in the house. First of all, I would like to say congratulations and happy anniversary. Siyempre, sa Pretty Voices, feeling 17 lang po ako ngayon. Okay, kasi hindi na po naging English, ngayon magtatagalog naman tayo. And I would like to say thank you very much and congratulations sa lahat ng organizer ng Voices Con, especially Miss Karen, Emilia, palakpakan natin. And also sa kanyang assistant, Miss Jen Santos. And of course, kay Navi. Ayan. Oo, at ngayon sa lahat na nanonood Zoom and also sa Facebook group natin, sobrang proud ako sa inyo, sobrang saya ng marami ba kayo natutunan? Sige nga, lahat kayo open ninyo yung mga videos ninyo, pakibukas. Ayan. And I also would like to request Navi dito sa spotlight natin. Ayan. Kasama natin sino pa? Jen, where's Jen? Hi Jen. Ayan, so ito ka lang sa likod ko. So para alam ng lahat, live po tayo. Sabihin, recorded. Live po to. Okay? So, congratulations. And again, Voices Con is the biggest paid online voice acting workshop in the world. Kasi global naman talaga tayo. And I would like also to announce that next year, Voices Con will be bigger, better, and bolder because next year we will have 50 speakers for 2 days. Okay?
Wow. So that's a lot.
So there's 30 countries around the world to join us. Okay? So para ma-claim natin that we will be the biggest, we are the biggest online voice acting training seminar. And it's free. Again, this workshop is for free because naniniwala kami lahat ng nandito may value. Especially for the Certified Voice Artist Program that makes difference. And next year, good news, i-announce ko na rin that CVAP will be CVAP Incorporated.
Yun, oh.
Yeah, we are already registered sa mga nanonood ngayon ng CVAP. So you are all welcome to be part of our family by being part of the Certified Voice Artist Program. And now, Certified Voice Artist Program will be handled by the Certified Voice Artist Philippines Incorporated. Headed by, of course, the Voices 5. Yeah. Sino ba yung mga Voices 5? Of course, there's Rudy, the Voice Master. Ang aking co-founder. Walang iba kundi si Miss Nikki Esmero. Sikat na po yan.
Yes.
Mamaya makapanood natin yung kanyang CNN Philippines. Second, of course, si Sir Rene Toralba. Yan. Ang ating president ng CVAP Incorporated. Of course, si Sir Jeff Peric. And si Miss Dean Gonzalez. Yan ang Voices 5. And also dalawa rin ang kasama sa ating mga incorporators. Walang iba kundi si
Excuse me.
Pastrana and Miss Pau Castillo. Sobrang daming mangyayari next year. Kung marami nangyari ngayon, doblehin natin next year. Because at the end of the day,
Hey, Tim.
CVAP is all about love. LCD, love, commitment, and dedication. Diba? Loyalty, commitment, dedication, love, care, and
I'll
devotion.
share devotion.
Yes. And also, I would like to request, hindi siya maka-online. So later, papanoorin natin. Siyempre, meron pa pala tayo, Navi,
Sir.
umabol na speaker. Ngayon lang.
Oo nga daw, sir.
Sabi.
Sabi nga na, sir.
Ayan. Okay. Yan, si
So,
Jen.
balik English tayo, sir, kasi speaker na tong next natin.
Okay, at si Jen ang mag-intro. Ayan. Dito ka. Ayan. Diba next speaker natin? Ang mabol.
Ayan.
Yes, now would we kindly introduce our final speaker now.
Yes, but before we officially wrap things up here at VoicesCon 2022, Jen, I've been itching to say how much I love to see that team earlier on. You know, the goosebumps, I'm still feeling it, especially when they spoke the lines from our CVAP mantra. Harlem Jude Olangos for a living.
Thank you so much, Papa Len, and our voice is that. And to all of the members of the agency, under this venture, we have some photographs of the that members become voice artists. And the voice of the network, or better known as VOICE, references an only small community in the life experience of Philippines.
That's right. And of course, a big thanks as well to the support of Meta Voices Talent and Casting Agency, led by none other than our Queen of the Voice, Lynn Gonzalez.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. And there, Matthew is actually just came in. I heard that one of the most anticipated speakers on our lineup actually made it.
That's right, that's right. And of course, our last speaker, but definitely not the least, whose voice has been resounding in key brands like Disney, Lexus, Toyota, Trucks, KB Homes, Tropicana, Quaker Oats, Milata, and
Hey, Jason.
2009.
What's up? What's up?
He is also renowned for his 5-center recording and editing courses in Adobe Audition and Audacity, and a couple of organizational websites.
That's a lot. But what stood out from his credentials is his goal, which is to always deliver what the client visions and in general to provide more than what is asked for, including paying it forward to his people community. So ladies and gentlemen, join us welcoming Larry Hudson.
Hello and welcome to the 6TL Recording and Editing Voiceover with me, Larry Hudson. Thanks so much for showing up. Let me tell you a couple things about me just quickly. I've been in voiceover since 2009 as a performer. I started doing classes on how to record and edit quite early in my career, probably 2011 when I started. Yeah, right around 2011. And then I started doing these 5-session courses on how to record and edit, both Audacity and Adobe Audition. Back 5-week courses started about 2016. Because what I realized was that people were having a hard time assimilating all of that information in 1 or 2 hour session. So that's why I do 5-week sessions. Because what I learned for sure is the way that you learn properly is repetition. So the idea was I set up this course so that we could learn a little bit eventually, adding to our workflow. So a little bit
It's cute. Really cute. What else is there? Topics. Okay.
In 2009, I found myself
Might do that. Okay.
unemployed. I was on unemployment and ran into somebody that was a voice actor and on-camera actor. We had a conversation about voiceover, and as he was talking to me about it, what I realized was I actually had that thing 25 years prior, like back in the 90s. But at the time, I didn't know much of the business, and bottom line is I was making a whole bunch of money doing real estate. And silence. Keystroke would be amplified with the same thing. That little silence pretty much elevates their one that I have to set it, I am going
Okay. Can you hear me? Good enough, fucking. Hear myself. Hopefully this comes out later. So I just finished watching a webinar for voiceover talents and whatever. Is it something I want to get into, sort of? Because, well, I really want to get into podcast management, so, and producing podcasts and stuff like that. So I think that would be very useful. Okay, 5:26. Okay. I can shut this off. Just gonna listen to this. That music's in. I'll turn it off. Listen to. Buddy, come here, puppy. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Baby, baby, puppy. Sleepy, sleepy, Bobby. Sleepy, uncle. Too big. Salika. 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 Shit. Saturday. Okay. If anybody's still alive over there, I'm just going to share my content for later. Okay. So, I'm talking about. So I posted that earlier that I'm going to be talking about the top 10 signs that you are with the wrong client. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't accept work by clients. This is for people who have clients, you've been with them for a while, maybe 6 months, 8 months, a year. And, you're sort of in that place where you're comfortable, you know the task, you know the work, but that's the thing. There's a but, right? So how do you know, okay, so you have a client, you're coming in regularly, you know their tasks, you're working for them consistently, they're paying you consistently, but, it's like any relationship. Should you be in that relationship for the long run? Or should you just hone your experience and your skills and move on? Okay. If you are in that place where you have a client, you have some clients, you've been with them for a while, how do you know that this is a place where you're going to grow? So a lot of people want to grow, they want to make more money. If you don't want to grow, I guess, and you just want to get paid, I guess that's fine. Okay. But if you're the sort of person where you're working as a VA or a freelancer, you've got this client, or maybe you've got 2 of them or more, that you've been working with them a while, and it's sort of plateaued. When I say plateau, it's reached a place and it's sort of going, in that direction, like really sort of, just flat lining. Okay, number 10, you're with the wrong client when they make racist comments. Racist comments. So what I mean by that is your client might be very nice and polite, but there are just some comments that come out that are not right. So let's say you're making a recommendation to your client by saying, you know what, I saw this really fantastic voiceover talent on Upwork. I think they're top ranked, so they're ranking like 100%, 10 out of 10. We can use them on some of our videos, and then but they cost like $40 an hour. And your client asks, where are they based? Are they like a Filipino voice talent, and then you say, yeah, they're based in the Philippines. And then your client says something like, I'm not paying $40 for a Filipino voice talent, or no Filipino makes $40 an hour. So racist comments, one is one too many already. So if you notice that your client makes consistent racist comments, or And it could be like one comment once in a while. You have to listen, okay? Because it's a red flag. It's a red flag. Number 9. So of the top 10 signs that you're with the wrong client, number 9, very closely related to number 10, sexist comments. And this can, like, it's usually, when we think about sexism, we usually think about men being sexist towards women, or sexist, like gratuitous remarks being made, like off-color jokes, things like that. Off-color jokes about someone's, like a woman's appearance or age or whatever. But it can go both ways, right? So there can be off-color jokes or sexist remarks being made by, let's say, a woman to a man. Although it's not as common. So it's more common, like sexist remarks are more common, like being made by men to women. And when I say sexist comments, it could be anything. It could be about your work. Oh, we should have had this logo done by Dawn, because she's a girl, okay, because let's say because Diane's a girl, the logo came out sort of soft, and pastel-y, okay. That's sort of a sexist comment, because you're saying that because she's a girl, the logo turned out that way, not the way that you wanted to. Maybe, something a little bit more texturized. Or if there's suggestions about age, like, oh, well, it's because, she's older. She doesn't get that stuff. Okay. I actually had an experience with that recently with a webinar that I attended. Although it was not, the sexist comment was not about someone, it was about like a generation. So, number 9 sign that you're with a wrong client, there's sexist comments and jokes sort of being thrown around. And it seems to be okay, right? So let's say if there's a group, there's sort of like sexist comments being made, and everyone's just sort of laughing. That's a red flag. In addition to that, okay, if let's say you join an agency or a company and they have no training whatsoever, or no guidance, no guidelines whatsoever on sexual harassment in the workplace, big red flag. Okay, like the Me Too movement, hello, it's been around for a couple of years, so it's not necessarily something that you can ignore. Let me get rid of the bats. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, if you're joining a VA agency, they have or a BPO or any company that you plan to join, they don't seem to be aware of the Me Too movement, and especially if they have no training on or have no guidelines on sexual harassment in the workplace or sexist comments in the workplace, then that's a big red flag. That's number 9. So we went through number 10, racist comments, number 9, sexist comments and jokes and whatever. And number 8, okay, you're with the wrong client when the client insists that you get low ball rates. Okay, especially if you're new. So to the newbies, if you're working with a client, you want to get work, and you got work, okay, so let's say the client offered you, I think somebody here earlier, they're asking me about $2 an hour for a product researcher job. I mean, you accepted it, okay, so, and I get it, it's really hard to find clients right now, but if you accept the job, and let's say you've been 8 months with a client, they still insist on lowball rates for you. That's a huge red flag. Okay, I would say that an acceptable rate for accepting a job is $3 an hour. That's what I would say. But there's no hard and fast rule. Okay, we don't have any national rules. The freelancer, law doesn't, in our labor code does not set a rate for what should be the starting rate. But if, let's say, you accepted a rate that's like $2 an hour, and then 8 months later the client is still insisting on paying you $2 an hour, that's a big red flag. That should tell you that you are working for the wrong client. I mean, in 8 months, how much experience have you gotten? How much work have you done for that person? Diba 5. There's nothing in the labor code that says it. Nothing in the labor code. I think for experienced people, they would say, oh, I start at $5 an hour. But there was somebody earlier, they accepted $2 an hour because they're a newbie. I mean, the point is, if you accepted $2 an hour and 8 months later, you're still at $2 an hour, and your client insists on keeping you at $2 an hour, that's a red flag. Okay, that you're working. I mean, it's an indication you're working for the wrong client. Take your 8 months experience and what you know, rewrite your resume, move on. Number 7. Okay, you are working for the wrong client when they provide no direction or no guidance for you. Let's say from day one, they expect you to do this, they expect you to do that. But there's really no onboarding process. Like they really don't tell you what they're all about. And it continues, like it's an attitude with them. Like they just don't provide any guidance. They don't provide any sort of direction. They don't even tell you, like, oh, this is the vision of my business. Okay. They're just like, one day they'll just say, oh, I'm switching markets. I'm going from this market to that market. I'm going from real estate to, I don't know, construction companies. Okay. But they don't provide you any sort of direction and any sort of guidance. And that's an indication of somebody who, like, they're not grateful for you working with them. There's a lack of gratitude and there's a lack of respect. The fact that you don't tell someone who's working for you and working with you what your plans are, like at least some sort of generalized plan of action, just for me indicates lack of respect. Okay. Hirap nakakabanding ng mga biglo. Yeah, and you know what? It's just an indication. Even if you ask them, like, what are the plans for your business? Because if they really have nothing, okay, don't expect to stay with that client for longer than 6 months. And it's a miracle if their business actually makes money, like enough money for you to ask for an increase, like maybe 6 to 8 months later. Okay. So that's number 7. Lack of direction, guidance, lack of everything, basically. Number 6, the client that you're with, okay, and most clients, they are, hey CJ, Most clients, they're business owners, right? When the client is not there, when the client, for example, goes on vacation for 5 months and doesn't tell you, they're basically an absentee business owner. Okay, that indicates a lack of respect for you, and they're off just doing whatever they want. They don't even tell you where they are. You are left holding the bag. You are left with all the problems, right? So, number 6, if they are an absentee business owner, that is the top 6 sign that you are with the wrong client, that you're working for the wrong client. And if his business is small, you don't notice it at the beginning. Okay, you don't notice that they're not there all the time. Why? Because it's a small business. You can handle it. Okay, there are kind of smallish problems that you can probably handle. But let's say the business gets bigger. And now you've established a precedent where you're okay with being left behind, with being left, okay, to everything. Yeah, because you spoiled your client nung maliit pa yung negosyo niya. And then, lumaki yung negosyo niya. Okay? Ikaw pa rin naiiwan. Okay. So, hey, Christine.
Hi! Hindi
I'm
nakabasa
talking
ng
about the top 10 signs that you are working for the wrong client.
Oh.
And this is, yeah, and this is not for people who are newbies and don't have a client yet. Let's say you're already working with a client or kahit kakatanggap mo lang yung trabaho, di ba? Kumbaga, let's say you've been working with a client for a while. So, let's say, 6 months, may 4 months ka na, 6 months, 8 months, mga ganyan. Okay. So number 10, the number 10 sign that you're working for the wrong client, racist comments. Racist. Kahit paminsan-minsan, mga racist comments. Okay. Like for example, okay, you said to your client, you know what, I recommend so-and-so on Upwork as a voice talent. They're really good. It looks like they're ranked really highly. It's just that they're a little bit expensive. They cost like $40 an hour. And then nag-comment yung client, no Filipino gets paid $40 an hour. That's a racist comment. Tapos hindi naman kailangan sabihin ng client, like, hindi kailangan palaging may racist comment yung client mo. Like, for example, if they only make comments like every once in a while, but they're racist, okay, that's the top number 10 sign you're working for the wrong client. They're racist. You're not going to move up in that environment, okay? Then number 9 is sexist comments. So, ito yung mga sexist na jokes, okay? And si President Duterte dati, he got a lot of flack for making jokes about rape and stuff like that. Honestly, it's really off color. Balik ako, may bisita. Okay, no problem. Honestly, it's a little bit off color. Like, I know he's the president, and well, he was the president, and he deserves respect. But honestly, like joking about rape is like you're not a stand-up comedian. It's not a comedy show. You know what I mean? Like, it's just off color. Okay, so yeah, number 8, when they insist on giving you lowball rates, even if you've been with them for a while. Number 7, lack of direction and guidance. If the client doesn't give you any lack of direction or guidance, or even tell you about the plans for his business, you're working with the wrong client. Okay, number 6, absentee, yung na business owner si client. Like not a lot of the time. Let's say 60% of the time they're not there. Na iniiwan ka lang. Okay, you're with the wrong client. Number 5. Okay, number 5, si client nagbibigay ng mga tasks very early that are like impossible to do. That are just like freaking ridiculous. Let's say, okay, let's say hinire ka na customer support, di ba? Okay, so you're doing, let's say, email support and chat support. Okay, and in your first week, the client gave you 111 accounts. How are you gonna do 111 accounts in your first week? Dapat pag first week mo, let's say this is a full-time role, dapat first week mo, or at least your first 3 days, okay? The client should be teaching you how to do the job. Okay? Because, syempre, chat support, email support, may mga scripts yan, di ba? Tapos bibigyan ka ng biglang 111 accounts. Like, can even Superman do that job? You know what I mean? So number 5, if the client gives you impossible tasks early on or expects the impossible. Top 5 sign that you are working for the wrong client. And maybe you need to move on. Or maybe you need to speak up, right? If you speak up and the client binawasan yung work or they understand, then maybe there's a chance. Diba? Pero yung client na bigla kang babagsakan ng ganon, tapos they expect the impossible, like, oh sige, tapos next week they're expecting that you'll be answering like all the support, like by email and chat and stuff, and you're not able to, okay? Top number 5 sign, you are working for the wrong client. Okay. Number 4, really big, okay? Lack of respect. So we know that in every relationship, even personal relationships, habang tumatagal and you become familiar with the other person, nagbabago yung relationship. Diba? Nagre-relax yung relationship. And then, you start to notice all the little faults that the other person has. They start to notice yours, stuff like that. And I don't know, tell me about it. I've been married 25 years. So, I really, like, he has his space, okay? I have mine. There's stuff that I like to do, there's stuff that he likes to do, okay? And more or less, there's still a basic respect, okay? And it's kind of the same. Once you've been with your client a while, especially pag taon na siya, the relationship changes, okay? If you notice that there's a lack of respect na yung client, pag kinakausap ka, like there's yung parang feeling mo na babastos ka. Okay, that's it. That's a red flag. Don't ignore how you feel. Yung mga instincts mo, there's a reason why we have instincts. Okay, trust your instincts. If you're starting to feel like, yeah, I don't think that's right. But if you have a client na understanding naman kasi people who are underperforming, well, according to who? According to who that they're underperforming, and what is the data? Do you have data that proves they're underperforming? So what are you doing? Are you telling your client or not? Because if you're telling your client and he still chooses to keep them, then you need to ask him why. Okay? If there are no rules in the client's company, na, okay, pag nag-under, you tell them, do you tell the client na ikaw sumasalo? If there's rules in the company, in the client's company that says everyone needs to work at this level, like for example, nag-sales ako dati. So yung pinakamababang quota sa sales is 10 new sales per month. Okay? They know. Does the client know? You need to talk to the client. Not, yung mga nag-underperform, they don't give a fuck. Okay? They're getting paid, they underperform. They don't care. Okay? It's the client that's losing money. It's not the other people that are underperforming that are losing money. Hindi sila nawawalan. Binabayaran sila. Tapos less yung work na ginagawa nila. Sila yung Sila yung swerte. But it's the client that's losing money. So you kind of need to point out to the client, this is my volume of work for what you pay me. This is person A's volume of work for what you pay them, okay? Which means their productivity is 43% less than mine. Now, person B, this is their amount of work. Their productivity is 50% less than mine. Okay? You're gonna go to your client and magre-reklamo ka lang, mukha ka lang reklamador. You go to your client, you have stats, data, and reports. Okay? You say, okay, in March, okay, my productivity was at 90%. Always have data, or else mukha ka lang bitter. That's what you look like. Okay? Nothing can, okay, if you have screenshots, if you have numbers and you have reports, there is nothing that can go against that. Because here it is. Put it in your client's face. Here it is. Here's look. March, I was at 90%. Person A was at 70. Person B was at 65%. Okay. April, I was at 95%. That's my productivity. Person A was still at 70%. And then person B, they dropped by 5%. They're now at 60% productivity. So you're losing even more money from them. Pero pupunta ka lang sa client, person A and person B, they're underperforming compared to me. Okay. Sasabihin ng client. Okay. But number 4, if there's a lack of respect by the client when talking to you. And trust your instincts. Yung trust mo yung nararamdaman mo. Like, and how, now you start to count, how many times does it happen? That feeling, okay, that, and then talagang i-analyze mo, do I feel this way because usually in meetings, diba? Do I feel this way sa chat? No. Okay, so you should watch more of my videos. 7 years CSR sa BPO, like, doesn't translate into any sort of like actual career as a VA. If you want to be a VA with just your skills sa BPO, appointment setter sa real estate or sa insurance or mag-EA ka. Because honestly, most yung kakalabanin mo na VAs or freelancers, they have skills and experience, and you have none of that. The only thing you can do is calls. So doon ka lang ipapasok. Like, that's what happened to me 10 years ago. Yun lang alam ko, mag-call. So ginawa kong appointment setter. That's it. Yun lang ang skill set mo galing ka sa call center. Okay? All right. So number 4, lack of respect. Okay? This actually happened to me with my first VA agency that I worked for. So I was doing sales at that time, and then there was an incident where dalawa yung team. So every Monday we have a team meeting, and then everyone, you should know your stats because you're in sales. You should be like, oh, I closed 19 clients last month, blah blah blah, and I have 20 in my pipeline that I can actually bring in, etc. So we had a meeting, and then there was 2 teams that were there. The people from the US who were mostly the sales team. Ako lang yung salesperson sa Philippines. And then the sales support team, they were there. And then, so we were giving our numbers, and then the owner of the company asked me for my numbers, and I said, and I felt really good because I actually brought in the first sale for the month. Okay, the very first sale for the month. I said, oh, I brought in 2 clients. They signed up for 2 part-time. I brought in 1 client. He signed up for a part-time VA, and then another one signed up for a part-time VA. Okay, and then he goes, the client, my boss at that time, said, why only part-time? Pero nagulat ako. I was like, what do you mean, why only part-time? Right? Eh, choice naman ng client yun kung gusto niya mag-part-time or full-time. Diba? And he was like, and he started going on about, we need to close, more deals. We're full-time. We want full-time only. Gusto ko sabihin sa kanya na, you don't want part-time? Tanggalin mo sa website. Okay? Wag mo i-alok sa clients. It's on the freaking website that you are offering part-time and full-time clients. Kung ayaw mo, kung gusto mo puro full-time lang, hindi tanggalin mo yung part-time. Okay? That's a lack of respect. Like, pinahiya mo ako sa harap ng dalawang team. Like, I closed the first 2 sales, like the first sales for the month, and you're going to talk to me like that. That's a lack of respect. Okay? So, it's an absence of gratitude. And I'm not saying that, everyone is racist or everyone is, because a lot of the clients are foreigners, right? And a lot of them are really nice. I'm just saying that relationships that change over time. So once you start to listen to your instincts, once you start to feel that there's a lack of respect, there's a lack of gratitude, you need to speak up. Okay, you need to say, I really didn't appreciate that you told me that. Okay, I didn't feel respected. If your client listens, then good. If your client doesn't listen, then that's another red flag. That you're working for the wrong client. You gotta move on. Okay. Number 3, really important, and something that not a lot of freelancers and VAs pay attention to. Okay. Number 3 top sign that you are working for the wrong client. Okay. Napapansin mo over the months or over the years, the client invests no money back into the business. Hindi siya yung kinikita niya, hindi niya binabalik sa negosyo. Okay, that is a huge red flag. Huge. Especially if medyo malaki yung negosyo ni client. Okay? Ibig sabihin, kuha lang siya ng kuha, ng kita, yung kinikita niya, and then that's it. Like, he doesn't pour it back into, let's say, better systems. Okay? Better voice over IP systems. Better, or maybe a paid Google Suite, or a better website, mga ganon. He doesn't, invest it back into the business. If you have that sort of client that they're not investing some of yung kinita nila back into the business, honestly, and mararamdaman mo to, pag lumalaki yung negosyo ni client, ayaw niya mag-invest to hire more people. So let's say you started with a client, there was 5 of you, manageable pa yung trabaho, di ba? Let's say within, I don't know, a year and a half, so let's say dumoble yung number of clients niya, clients ng client mo, and then there's still 5 of you. It's like trying to make parang ano ka, panadero, di ba? So you have to make, let's say, 400 pandesal. Dalawa yung oven mo, medyo maliit. Okay? So you know that naluluma yung gamit, right? So in a year and a half from now, let's say nag-increase yung demand. Now you have to produce 800 pandesal with the same 2 small ovens. Can you imagine the stress and the strain that you will undergo, and yung equipment mo rin, it's kind of the same thing, di ba? Parang in-expect nyo yung, kumbaga, when you started, 5 lang kayo sa team, you're servicing maybe, I don't know, 30 clients. And then in a year and a half, now you have 60 clients. Your client is expecting you to service same level of service, double the clients. So what's going to happen to you? You'll be working overtime. Kahit bayad pa yung overtime mo, sisingilin ka niyan. Kasi yung client mo ay mag-invest ng pera back into the business to hire new people or to invest in like new systems para ma-automate yung ibang parts ng negosyo niya. Okay, so that is the number 3 top sign that you're not working for a good client. Okay, they don't invest their money back into their business. Okay, number 2 top sign that you're not working for a good client. You've been there for 2 years. Naku, sana dito si Christy. Okay. You've been there, let's say, for 2 years. Ayaw ka increasean or bigyan ng raise ni client. That's not a good thing. Okay. Iba yung case that you've never asked for an increase. Okay. If you've never asked for an increase, okay, that's on you. Okay. If you've asked for an increase and then the client refuses to give it to you, okay, that's a red flag. You're not working for a good client. You're working for the wrong client. Okay? Lalo na yung nakikita mo na dumadami yung clients niya, yung lumalaki yung negosyo niya, nakakabili siya ng bagong kotse, 'di ba? If you were there for, let's say, 2 years, 3 years, let's say your client is in real estate. So tumutulong ka sa pag-close ng mga deals, let's say, or tumutulong ka sa paperwork that, would make that go faster. If you were not there, like, it would probably take twice as long. Pero tumutulong ka in like the documents, contracts, transaction coordination, etc., whatever it is that you do, right? So I think you have a right to ask na pumarte ka dun sa success ng kumpanya. Okay? So number 2 top sign that you're working for the wrong client. No increases, no raises given by the client, even though you asked for it for, I don't know, 1 year, 2 years, mga ganon. Kung naka 2 years ka na, tapos ayaw ka pa rin bigyan, kahit 1.5 years, ayaw ka pa rin bigyan, move on. Move on. It's not a good sign. It's not good for you. Okay? And the number 1 sign that you are working for the wrong client, and lalo na ito para sa mga matatagal na. Let's say 2, 3, 4, 5 years now with the same client. Okay, the client makes no investment in you. They don't invest in you as their VA, kasi VA ka na at that point, hindi ka na freelancer, diba? You're a freelancer if you're like working project based for the client. But if you've been working steadily for the client for at least 12 months tuloy-tuloy, more or less tuloy-tuloy, 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you are that client's VA. They should be making an emotional investment in you. They should be making, some sort of financial investment in you. They should understand that you want to grow, or let's say you want more of a leadership role, diba? If they're not making any sort of investment in you as a VA, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about you. They're like, just do the work, I'll pay you. That's it. And usually connected yun sa mga clients for number 2, the number 2 top sign, like they don't want to give you increases or rates. They just want you to continue doing what you're doing. That's it. Okay, that's it. It's purely a transactional relationship. Kaso ang problema is like a relationship that's been there for that long, like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Syempre, nag-expect ka na, di ba? lumalaki yung mga, if you're a parent, di ba, lumalaki yung mga anak mo, nag-i-increase yung needs nila. They go from, elementary school to high school to college. So, your needs as well, like the bills are, they're not the same as they were like 5 years ago. So, if you're willing to take on like a management role or a role with more leadership, but your client is like, no, you're okay where you are. Like he doesn't care. He doesn't care what you want. And the thing is, what you want is actually good for his business as well. Pero wala siyang pakialam. That's why he doesn't want to invest in you as 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 his or her VA. Okay. So there. Sorry, I'm shooting this for content later. I'm just going to chop up the video. Okay. Yeah, and top 10 signs that you're not working for a good client, you're working for the wrong client. Number 10, racist comments. Number 9, sexist comments or jokes, and lack of like sexual harassment education in the workplace. Number 8, the client insists on paying you lowball rates even though you've been there for a while. Number 7, lack of direction and guidance and any sort of sharing for planning of the business. Number 6, they're basically an absentee business owner. Okay. Number 5, they give you an next to impossible task early on, or they expect the impossible. Okay. Number 4, lack of respect when they're talking to you, whether that's personally or in a group. Number 3, they do not invest any money back into their business. Okay. Number 2, you have not had any increases or rates in the last 12 to 24 months. Okay. So obviously it's a long-term relationship with a client. You haven't had any increases or rates, even though you've asked for them. Okay. And the number one sign that you are working for the wrong client, the client does not want to make any sort of investment in you as a VA. Any questions, boys and girls? Children? Maybe you want to share if you relate to any of those. I've had a lot of those happen to me. So. Trust me. I've been here for 10 years. PDF, okay. Be so kind. No questions on that? All right. I'm kind of going to be ending in about 15 minutes. Yeah. So, natin si RR, i-expound natin. And if you guys are hiring for VA or work from home jobs, so this is something that I've kind of brought up in previous lives from before. Yung mga galing BPO who expect to slide into like a work from home job, in many cases it doesn't really happen. Um, we've had, like, I've talked to a lot of people, they've spent up to, I don't know, 10 months looking for clients. So just because magaling ka mag-English, and obviously English is my first language, all right? So just because magaling ka mag-English and then galing ang call center, you think that prepares you for a work from home job. It doesn't. Honestly, it does not. Okay. Um, and then there's and you go on social media, and then there's people saying, "Oh yeah, I'm making six figures," blah 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 blah. Okay, so there are certain fields where sobrang saturated na ang mga VAs and freelancers. So things like e-commerce, okay, super saturated. Social media management, social media marketing, okay. As a social media manager, that is, for me, that's like super saturated. Like every freelancer that I see on TikTok, they like every third person that I see on TikTok is a social media manager. It's super saturated. E-commerce, SMM, graphic designers with no experience in UI UX design, they're saturated. Um, People who use Canva, like, you know, everyone uses Canva. Like my grandmother, my cat, my dog can use Canva. It's that easy to learn. Okay. Um, FB ads, Google ads, like there's a lot of people who do that already. And I don't know how well they do it. Okay. It's funny, Nicole. But if you do YouTube ads really well, TikTok ads really well, like you could possibly, you know, get a higher rate than people who just say that they do Facebook ads, Instagram ads, kind of the same thing. Okay. And Google ads, the Canva thing. It's true, right, Nicole? Like, it's true. Okay. When people say, "Oh yeah, I'm a graphic designer," what do you use? Canva. Yeah. You know, my 6-year-old niece could learn Canva in 2 weeks, and she can call herself a graphic designer. No, she's not. Okay. Um, so if you're coming from an accounting background, or some sort of accounting, whatever, you have, and you want to find a job like work from home, you have to know Zero and QuickBooks Online. Better yet, you know QuickBooks software, QuickBooks Online, and Zero. It's better if you know all three. And even better if you know how to sort of work in payment portals like, like Stripe. Okay. What else? People who know how to do Excel, yeah, there's, you could probably do some data management, but, if you're going to be offering your services as somebody who uses Excel well, if you know how to create even if you know how to do pivot tables and create dashboards in Excel, it's like you don't have any other skills. Parang it's not, you know, di lahat ng clients may room for something like that. Video editing. If you know how to do video editing using, Adobe Premiere Pro, I mean, you'll probably find clients. However, okay, if you want high-paying clients, okay, you should niche down to TikTok video editing. Become really good at that, and know like the different styles, and how, and the know how to cut, and then know how to storyboard. Like, how to do all that. Like, you have a career. And that's because, just TikTok is just super hot right now. Apart from that, like, there's so many fields where like copywriting, content writing, there's AI that does it. So, if unless you're the sort of copywriter, content writer who is very independent, like you're a true writer, like you write like Eleanor Roosevelt, you know. If you're the sort of person who just, takes content and ideas from other content creators, it's like if you're a really great writer, you have your own voice. Okay, if you don't have your own voice as a writer, and then you just use Jasper and copy.ai to create the content, and you just come up with, you know, pieces of content and copy that are like grammatically correct, but they're all like kind of generic, and you still need the client to sort of edit them. I mean, you'll find work, okay, but you won't be an in-demand writer, okay. You really want to be an in-demand writer, learn how to write anything and find your own voice, like really know how to tell a story, okay, not just your own story, like anybody's story. Um so, so ayan, nawala na ata si RR. So, ayan. So, yung mga, bagito na, wow, kikita ko 6 figures, galing ang call center, doesn't happen. Hindi. Sorry to bust your bubble. Doesn't happen. Ngayon, if in-demand yung career mo sa labas, for example, you were in IT recruitment, okay, and you specialize in like Cisco developers, blah, 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 mga ganyan. And then your client was, for IT recruitment, was yung mga Forbes 500 companies. When you switch to work from home, it's the same. Like you will be in demand also. Okay. If you were, a good indicator is how in demand are you non-work from home. Okay. Kung pinag-aagawan ka ng tao sa labas, okay, na hindi work from home, hindi VA, hindi freelancer, kung pinag-aagawan ka nila sa labas, malamang pag-aagawan ka nila pag virtual ka. That's a good indication. Okay. If you're so specialized, if you're really, really specialized, if you're not specialized, like, you have the same career as like 15 gazillion other people. Okay. As we all know, there's like a couple of million Filipinos in BPOs. Okay. And you try to transition to work from home, tapos feeling mo, maging in demand ka kasi ang galing mo mag-English. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Okay, kung hindi ka in demand doon, if you're just earning, I don't know, 28,000 a month doon, and then you come to work from home, and then all you know is like BPO stuff, baka hindi pa 28 ang kitain mo, di ba? I'm just saying. And if there's any violent reactions to that, well, we're all entitled to our own opinion. Honestly, the more skills you have as a freelancer, as a VA, the more in demand you can be. Tapos yung mga nag-resign sa trabaho, so wala pang naiipon na gamit for a work from home career, like, seriously, like, and if you have a family, so it's not a good plan. Okay. May mga nagtatanong sa akin, oh, I was, you know, STL, senior TL, whatever, Cheverly, sa BPO for 6 years. Mga ganon. What kind of career, what kind of work can I find? So work from home. Um, I don't know. Hey, Vanilla. Vanilla. What's up? What's up? Natuto ako mag-edit sa Audacity. Correct. Hey, Vanilla. So, I just shot my content and I'll chop it up for the top 10 signs that you're with the wrong client. Okay. And then I think RR is a newbie, so he had questions about, transitioning to a work from home career from BPO na 7 years daw siya, SCSR, blah, blah, blah. The usual stuff. Tapos si Francesca, I don't know if you saw Francesca's video earlier today, where she was talking about, can VAs and freelancers really earn 6 digits? Okay. So work from home career. Okay. I don't know if you saw that video. Nagja-jogging ako nung nakita ko. Oh, you saw that? Okay. Tapos naghahanap siya ng reaction pala. And I was like, she asked a question, but she didn't really, oy, then goes. So, umakyat, then, or start ka na ng work. Chop-chopin ko na lang mamaya yung video. Then I'll do some castings. Hindi pa maganda yung audio ko for voiceover. Wala pa yung USB audio interface with preamp. Kaka-order ko pa lang. So, I have to wait till I get that. Okay. Tulog niyo sa akin. Tulog niyo sa akin. Napagod. Kakakain. Okay, I don't need that. Talagang tinago pa niya yung ball. Sleeping with his ball. Mamaya may coaching call ako with the lady whose course I'm taking for podcast management. Mamaya 10 p.m. Okay, guys, I got courses to do and videos to edit and shit. Take care, stay dry.